Thank you very much, Andrew. So now one of our favorite segments of the show, we're going to start the QA section. I'm going to ask some of our assistants to get the mics down on this side and this side. And what we're going to have you guys do is, this is going to be Ask Roblox Anything. We would like to hear your feature suggestions, glitches, whatever. We'd like you guys to start lining up on the left side or the right side. Line up right next to the stands. We'll get the mics right out there in front of you. And we have a mic on this side. If we could get, Matt, could you move that mic over there as well? Okay, so we'll get someone on both sides. So let's start lining up on both sides of the stairs. Okay, we're gonna pass the mics. Got it, because we're so tight in here. So we got our mic passers out. Let's get everyone on stage who's gonna be answering questions. Come on up, guys. So we have Brad, Keith, Matt, Dusek. Let's give these guys a hand. Come on, give it up for these guys. I'm gonna check this mic. We're good. I'm gonna bend over a little and start talking. So this is Ask Roblox Anything. We are taping this every year. This is one of the most important parts of the segment. What we work on for the year is, partly related to what you guys say. So let's have you guys start raising your hands. We've got anyone who wants to ask a question. We will let our microphone guys start hovering around and passing those mics around. And we'll figure out how we want to do it. So just say your name, where you're from, and your question, and I'll repeat it, and we'll answer it. Okay, let's go for it.
Hey, I'm Charles, and I'm from Scotland, and I'm a part of the clan community. And I was wondering, around the time you introduced mega servers, you originally said having 30 players in game was a step towards having up to 100 players in a game. And I was wondering if that's still the pipeline for being introduced.
Yeah, so you saw on my vision slide a shot with like thousands of players, so you know that's our vision. I'm going to pass it over to Keith because he actually runs the client, well, he kind of is part of what he does, the client group. Let's talk about lag versus number of players.
Yeah, so, you hear me? Yeah, so we're doing a lot of work in that right now. One of the big factors in that is actually our networking, the communication between all of the different clients, and it's if you think about it, the more people you have playing one particular game, the more you have to share information. So that's one of the things that will introduce lag and will be one of the hardest problems in solving to get to 100, 200,000 players. But it's also on our roadmap right now this year to try to push beyond 30 to a lot higher.
Okay, great question. Next question. Awesome. Name, where you're from, question.
My name's Finn Rivers. I'm from England. Could you add some English stuff in English holidays, like on St. George's Day?
Okay, so the question is kind of English political stuff on St. George's Day. We'll let that go to Brad, who kind of manages the catalog and the gear.
Yeah, we're trying to do a lot of other things. Actually, I think we've got this weekend is an international weekend, so I think we actually do have some things in the catalog this weekend as well. But we did Canada Day earlier this year, so we're going to be adding a lot more stuff in.
Great. Next question.
Hello, I'm Tony. I'm from Norway, and I was wondering, when will you add the ability to upload, or will you even add the ability to upload sounds or music? If not, will there be like an expanded library or something?
Yeah, so I'll answer that one. We recently did a survey where we pulled our, I'll get closer here. We did a survey of the probably 100 to 200 developers on Roblox who were creating really popular places. The top thing on their list was sound and music. So no specific date on that. It's something we're looking at. Like the video files you do in your game preview, we do need to moderate those sounds, but it's high on our list. So great question. Next question. Go for it.
I'm Jordan Hart, I'm from Stevenage. What exactly are you going to do to try and cut down on spam?
Yeah, so we'll kick that one over to Keith, or Matt wants to go for it. Okay, Matt, spam.
Sure. Yeah, we're doing a few different things. Of course, spam comes in different forms, different parts of the site. An obvious example is comment spam, and we've already taken some steps to reduce that. We're trying to make sure we understand, that the account that's posting the comment is a more established member of the community. So you can't just create an account and spam up the site. We've introduced the ability to do thumbs up and thumbs down on places. We can do that for comments as well. And we may start doing more sort of computer learning based analysis on the content.
Yeah, I think also you can see in the paid apps, which we're experimenting with, we only allow you to comment if you've actually at least played the game. I think that same thing for gear models, other stuff is also possible. We're going to start using this mic so I don't have to bend over too much. Next question. Okay, here we go, in the back.
Hello, my name is Greg from Poland, and I have a question about Robux. If you have BC, could you increase the amount of Robux gained daily?
Let's pass that one over to Brad, who works on Robux.
So it's a good question. It's something we get asked a lot. We think the amount of Robux you get now is about right at every level. There are other ways to get Robux, and I'll be talking later about other ways in which it's possible to earn Robux. So we think the stipend or the allowance that goes with each level of BC is set properly right now.
Next question. Great questions so far. Keep them coming. Keep going fast. And why don't we do this, Andrew? You guys, we'll go back and forth. So when I ask this one, let's have the next one ready, so we'll have no gap between questions. And we'll just try and go randomly all areas of the room as well. So this Andrew's side, let's go.
Hi, I'm Ollie Bordes. I'm from St. Albans. I was just wondering, are building contests ever going to come back?
Are building contests ever going to come back? So who wants to address that one? Brad wants to bring.
Yes. Building contests are definitely coming back. We're actually working on a new engine for that right now.
Okay, we're going to go alternate on mics. This mic hot up here.
Hi, my name's Dylan. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. My question is, will there ever be more ticket hats? Because right now, like, the entire catalog is full of Robux stuff.
Ticket hats. I'll address that one. Answer is probably. We have some interesting things coming, I think, on the economy versus Robux and tickets that you're all going to like. And I think we're thinking a little outside the box on just where do hats come from as well. And you can obviously imagine hats are one of the areas where our users cannot create hats where we can. There's probably a vision long-term where, can we all create hats? But we're thinking about that. Okay, so next question on this side.
Hi, I'm Colleen, I'm from England. Are you ever going to make animated hats?
Animated hats, wow. Who wants to grab that one?
Where are you? Raise your hand.
Right here.
Oh, yeah. So what do you mean by animated? In what way? All right. I think that's a great idea. I don't think I haven't heard much talk about that. I think that's a great idea. So I think we'll consider it.
I think before we do that, you're going to see improvements on the animation of the character. So we've also got a lot of work going on in allowing anyone to improve the way their character animates as well. Okay, this side, and then you're gonna get ready on the next one. Let's go.
I'm Kaylee from England, and there's been a lot of like rumours and ghost stories about the accounts Jane and John Doe, but no one really knows who they are.
I love that. That's awesome. Anyone want to comment on ghost stories? Matt does.
Yeah, so the accounts Jane and John Doe actually were early test accounts when we were first building the system. And, you know, in the earliest days, we, of course, had no accounts. And so there were a few of us all working together, and we built some fake accounts to, you know, allow ourselves to test things out from the user's perspective. And those accounts have just been with us ever since.
And on to that, one of the things that we do on a regular basis is we monitor all of our accounts to make sure that they're in good shape. And one of the things we notice about those accounts, even though they're test accounts and no one's using them, we do see activity on those accounts. So it's pretty interesting.
My son is named Matt, and when we started Roblox, he was really young. He has an account with a really low number. It's like number 15 or something, and he's constantly pummeled with messages of people who want, you know, that super low number account. And Jane Doe and John Doe are probably super low numbers as well. Left side, go for it.
Well, my name is Khan. I'm from Slough, and I've seen one of your trailers of like your what's it called? Oh yeah, trailers. I think what it's called, and you do one of those animation stuff, and I think everyone here has been wondering if they could make animations as well.
So I'll comment on that one if it's okay. So the current Roblox characters animation, if you look at the humanoid script, is actually driven by weird equations. Like you can see the arm, you know, sine, whatever. And what we'd like to migrate is to the point where the arms can dislocate and be a lot more expressive. So just saw a demo in my office a little bit ago. I think our vision would be, you know, can you design the animations for your characters when you're running, when you're walking, when you're climbing, even when you fall down? And just like models, can that be something you would sell? So just had a meeting on that on Thursday, actually. So super good question. Let's go to the right.
My name's Christine and I'm from Wales. On Roblox, on certain levels, my character just keeps falling down and glitching through floors and stuff.
Character glitching through floors.
Yeah, like his legs will get stuck in the floor and his body's gone.
So he wants to talk to glitching through floors. We'll give that to Keith.
So we actually, that is a common problem, and I think what happens is as you're walking, we are trying to figure out, our physics engine, trying to figure out where you're walking so we can tell if you should trip or not trip. And we have one of our engineers, been with Roblox a long time. He's actually working on that right now. So it is a glitch. It's also a hard problem, but he's working on it.
Okay, let's go to the left side. Who's got the mic? Great.
Hi, I'm Dominic. I'm from the UK. Will you ever be able to get Roblox on smartphones, like Android or stuff?
I'll dig in on that one if you want. So I think you see PC, Mac, and iOS right now. The next candidate, which we won't give a time on, would be Android. And so Android allows us to cover a lot of different smartphones as well. Shouldn't be that big of a step for us. And of course, we'd want to allow the Android players to play against all the other platforms. So I think most smartphones are Android or iOS right now. Okay, right side.
My name's Joshua and I'm from England. When I'm opening the Roblox Studio app, it quits unexpectedly.
Roblox app quits unexpectedly. So Roblox Studio quits unexpectedly. So you want me to take that? Okay, so here's, so that's not good. We, obviously. We do monitor how often Roblox Studio quits, and Keith and I see that graph all the time. We are trying to make that better, and we're making, I'd say just in the last 3 or 4 weeks, big progress on that. We typically, a high quality PC game should only quit, never or once every 50 hours of playtime. We're trying to get Roblox Studio to that level. So we are watching that. If you want, after the show, you can come up and talk to one of us, give us your username, and we might be able to have an engineer, follow up with you. Who's got the mic up here? Go for it.
My name's James, and I'm from the UK, and I'd like to know if on Stamper Build, on personal servers, will they ever add more objects which you can build?
Yeah, I'm going to give that one to Keith.
So you were asking if we're going to add more parts to personal build servers. So look, can I ask you a question? Or let's see a show of hands. How many people liked personal build servers? All right, that's a lot of people. So yeah, I think we should look into more parts. How many people want more parts on personal build servers? Right. So we're looking at. Right. So very good point and very good question. Actually, if you look at what we do over the couple of years, we are experimenting with a lot of different kinds of building. We have Roblox Studio, we have personal build servers, we have Welcome to Roblox Building Place. We have a lot of different kinds that we're always experimenting and trying to find different ways to build that are really interesting and exciting. And I think these are great ideas to do more with them and to make them interact.
Awesome, good question. Next questions.
My name's Julia and I'm from Surrey. And Roblox Studio, there's so many different parts, and how do you place models?
Right, so the placing models in Roblox Studio, you've seen us kind of experimenting with our ribbon bar right now. One of the big things we're doing is making it very easy, just like you might in PowerPoint, when you say I want to insert some clip art, how do I find some good stuff? So 2 things we're working on there is a much better selection of kind of curated models, or the first things you might want to start dragging in, and then making it much easier to find that. Right now it's there's a little toolbox icon and it's kind of hard to find. We're going to make that a lot more obvious. This side. Yeah.
I'm Nick, and I'm from Buckinghamshire in England. And I was just asking, the iOS version of Roblox, I seem to remember that it doesn't work on iPad mini.
That's right.
Yeah, I was just wondering why.
So I can give some background on that, unless anyone else. Keith, you want to cover it? So Roblox, the issue with the iPad mini is the amount of memory it has. And just like a iPad 1, which we don't work on, which I think has 256, that's a fairly low memory device. And if you look at the comments we've received, that's the biggest complaint so far. We are trying, and I can't guarantee whether we're going to be able to make it work. We are moving to a model where the whole Roblox world that you're playing does not need to be on the device. And we're doing that because we do want to make any Roblox game work on iOS. There is a chance we will see as we start to experiment, we'll start to see when you're streaming the game rather than loading the whole game, how much we're able to fit on an iPad mini. No guarantees, but the whole memory thing on iOS is something we're digging into pretty quickly right now. Next question.
Morning, I'm Bradley Carter. Will we ever see the return of being able to create our own meshes? Because we're quite limited to what we have at the moment.
Yeah, who wants to dig in on that? You guys want me to dig in on that one as well? Okay. Matt, you want to dig in on that?
Yeah, so much like with animations and audio, we love the idea of user-generated meshes, but we need to be able to make sure that we're able to moderate all the content and it's safe, and that we need to solve scale and performance problems. If anybody can create a mesh of any size, could cause poor experiences on low memory devices, for instance. So we have a lot of the back-end sort of server capabilities to support user-uploaded meshes. We have to solve a lot of those other aspects first. So we'd love it as much as you would.
And I would just add one of the things we discuss a lot is it better to bring in meshes, or how far can we push the modeling stuff in Studio? So things like gear and hats and characters could be built in Studio, with more parts, more scale, more modeling operations. So you might not need meshes. Next question.
Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm wondering if it's possible if you could add it so you can set the time the personal building servers save, or you can force it to save in your command in game.
Yeah, so I'm going to let Keith answer that one again, just because he's working on kind of a framework that's going to allow a lot more customization on that.
Yeah, so the personal build server is an earlier version of something we're starting to do a lot more now, more of an app framework, and it allows you to specify scripts and other game tools that you would like to inject into the server when it starts. So right now on personal build servers, Roblox defines what are those tools and how everything is saved. And what we'd like to do in the next generation of game design is allow people to have personal servers, but you get to specify what the tools are and what the save capabilities are.
So in a nutshell, there we want ultimately some of you who are developers to actually be able to make a personal build server app. And there's things that personal build server does that you can't do right now as a developer, which are save, load, things like that. We're going to make that available to anyone. Okay, next question.
Hi, I'm Ed from England. Will Roblox Studio ever receive support for other scripting languages and programming languages such as Python?
Let's let Matt answer that one.
That's an interesting question. It's actually not something we've discussed very much, and so I think what we'd really be interested in hearing is limitations in Lua that would cause you to want another programming language. But it's an interesting idea, and one I'm sure we'll be discussing more afterwards.
The way it's architected right now with Lua is all the bindings kind of happen automatically the way our object model's been created. So technically it's not infeasible to imagine, I'd say, JavaScript or Python. Okay, the next question.
My name's Bailey and I'm from Swindon. When I use the moped gear, it normally either glitches into walls, and when I die, when I go on it again, it just teleports me to random locations.
That sounds like an interesting glitch. That one, when you get out of this show, when you go around, there's a giant Roblox booth there where we're kind of recording all this kind of stuff. Go talk to Matt, and John is here, and Christina, and let's get your username and we'll see if we can figure that out. Yeah, or the lab, and you can actually, great thing, we got in the lab in the back when you get your playtime, see if you can reproduce that glitch, because we'll have a lot of our engineers here. Okay, let's go Andrew. And Andrew, after this one, can you come down as well, get some lower ones?
My name's Alan and I'm from UK. Is the rumors true that Roblox is working on ads that you can watch? Video ads?
So I'll let Brad work on that one.
Do you mean video ads that our advertisers show, or video ads that you can show? Yes, well, we already have a system in place where some of the people who advertise on Roblox can show video ads. It's called pre-roll, and we are looking at a system that would actually allow users to do videos as well. You can advertise your game right now, you can put a video in as an advertisement for your game as part of, instead of a game thumbnail.
Okay, we have time for 3 more questions, so we're going to go one here, and one here. So who's got the mic? Let's go for it.
I know 3.0s came out a little while ago, but have you ever thought of making a 4.0, and what would it look like?
Kind of 4.0 of the Roblox look, or 3.0 of what in particular?
Well, just if you will make a 4.0, what would it what do you think of?
Yes, so we're talking a lot about the bodies. The biggest thing I think we're discussing is how far could we go to allow our users to make the bodies rather than us making the bodies. And the interesting thing that might happen is whenever we let our users, builders, developers, gamers create stuff, they usually actually do better than we do sometimes. So that's the big thought on the bodies, is let our builders create them. This side, and then we're gonna have one more on this side. So any of those of you whose questions we were not able to answer, after this show, some of us will go into the Roblox kind of booth area, and you can come up and keep asking me questions afterwards, and I'll be back there looking forward to answering them. So one last one on this side. Okay, who's got the mic?
I'm Joseph, and from Slough. Have you fixed the flying toilet glitch?
I don't know if we fixed the flying toilet glitch. Have we fixed it or not?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't either. So come and talk to us in the lab about that one. See if you can show us the flying toilet glitch. Okay, so we're gonna do one last one. I'd like to see that one. And then once again, right afterwards, come and grab me and I'll answer anything I can for you guys. Okay, where are we here? Okay, last question.
You know when in a Roblox game, if you type in /sc/sc/sc, it used to shut the game down, but now when people put it in, it says review. Has it just been fixed, or is it just dodgy?
We'll have to check that one. That sounds dodgy to me. So I like that. What would be neat is if we actually made it do something funny. So /sc/sc/sc. Yeah, it could be dodgy. Come and talk to us about that one, and go to the lab on that one and show us what happens. Okay. So thank you. Great questions. There were a few in there that really, I think, hit home to me that I appreciate. They were all great. In the Roblox booth area, after you get out of here, come and ask us and we'll finish off. Thank you very much, guys.
So we're not done. There's no more.